future. You know that your father considered me an honorable man."
"Yes, Mr. Lockhart, I do realize that. I am certain you are most honorable." He smiled and rubbed the back of his hand across his mustache.
"Your father knew, or rather knows, how I feel about you. I will see to it that you and your family are provided for. You needn't worry."
"Sir, I was hardly worried about myself." Hannah wiped at a tear. "Father—" She knew if she said more, she'd break down. "You must excuse me." Hannah felt his gaze upon her even as she turned to walk away. "We must do whatever we can to help Father," Hannah said, reaching the arched entry of the room. "But for now, say nothing to the children. I don't want them to know what's happened." She paused at the hall and turned toward the open front door, hoping Mr. Lockhart would take the hint to leave.
"Of course not."
He crossed the room in quick, precise steps.
"Miss Hannah, given this news and trouble with the Comanche, I must insist that you move with the children to Cedar Springs. You can stay at my place. There's more than enough room, and with my servants, no one will consider it inappropriate. I will, in fact, take my residence to the hotel to further dissolve any rumors."
"Sir, that is completely unnecessary. I do not intend to leave the ranch. If your news is wrong, Father will return here, or at the very least send word to me here. I will remain."
"You can hardly remain here on your own," he protested. "The Comanche and Kiowa uprisings have left many a man dead."
"But most of those attacks have come to men out on the open range," Hannah countered. She had no desire to leave the ranch for Mr. Lockhart's house.
"Miss Hannah, you have your siblings to consider as well. It could prove fatal."
Hannah held up her hand to halt his comments. They would never see eye to eye. He was twice her age and worried overmuch about everything. There would be no reasoning with him or hoping he might see things her way. "I have a great deal to tend to, Mr. Lockhart. I do hope you'll excuse my bad manners and show yourself out. If you should want further refreshment before your ride back to Cedar Springs, please see Juanita. She's just out the back door in the summer kitchen."
"Miss Hannah, I hope I didn't offend you."
She turned and pasted on a smile. "Of course not. I appreciate that you have brought me the news. I do hope you will do your best to see Father returned to us. Perhaps we should inquire in Dallas, since he has helped the Confederacy. Perhaps they could arrange for my father's release." He bobbed his head, but his expression suggested he didn't believe it would do any good.
"I will see to everything," he said. "I will not rest until we know what has happened. I give you my word."
"Thank you, sir." Hannah curtsied. She could see that he wanted to say something more, so she hurried on. I simply must get to my tasks." Without waiting, Hannah broke with etiquette and scurried away. Her mother and grandmother would be deeply ashamed of her behavior, but Hannah couldn't help it. Mr. Lockhart would only try to persuade her to leave the ranch. She made her way out the side door and across the yard to check on the laundry. Lines of clean sheets hung dry in the still air. To her surprise, Pepita, Juanita and Berto's younger child, hurried across the yard with a basket on her head.
"No, Miss Hannah. Mama sent me to get them."
"That's all right, Pepita. I'll help you." Hannah reached up to take one of the sheets from the line. She needed to keep busy, and she needed to think. The Barnett Ranch, as it was called, had been her home for less than a year. Hannah had come to Texas with her father and young siblings 5 years earlier, much to her dismay. She hadn't wanted to leave her childhood home in Vicksburg. There, she could be close to her grandparents and brother. There, she had friends and a life of ease. When her stepmother